I'd like to introduce you to our panelists this evening. Again, let me reintroduce myself. My name is Lynn Irby, the incredibly proud principal of South Orange Middle School. And I'll start this event off as I do everything and just say good evening, South Orange Middle School family. We have with us this evening James Waldron, one of our assistant principals. If you could wave, Mr. Waldron. We have Miss Allison Steiner, our school social worker. We have Dr. Malcolm Lash, our I-STEP intervention academic teacher. We have Miss Stephanie Prawl, one of our guidance counselors, and I'm sharing the screen with my other vice principal, assistant principal, Mr. James Jennings.
Do it.
So who are we at South Orange Middle School? I want to say that we are one big family. Let me just tell you a little bit about myself. I grew up here in South Orange, right on Page Terrace. I went to Montrose Elementary School. I then came here to the fabulous, at that time it was called South Orange Junior High, and then I am a graduate of Columbia High School. I spent 20 plus years being an educator in the Newark public school system. I was principal of 13th Avenue, which is a pre-K to 8 school. I was then the principal of the famous Arts High School, which was a 7 to 12 high school for the performing arts. I then came back home to South Orange, Maplewood School District. Over the last 4 years, we have seen tremendous growth in our school. Since coming here, we are really a big family, and I don't say that lightly. It's something that you'll find as soon as you walk through the doors, and hopefully at the end of this presentation, you'll realize that we are a big family. We have had incredible amount of artistic awards. We have been designated through the ADL as a no place for hate school. And one of the things I always say to our children is that we are a school of upstanders and not bystanders. Most recently, we received a commendation not only from Congressman Payne, but also from Governor Murphy. I'm not sure how many of you are aware of this, but our incredible music teacher, Mr. Jake Ezzo, formed the SOMA 3D Alliance and started off as a hobby, but began printing face shields for the first responders. At this point, they are up to have donated 30,000 face shields. Mr. Ezzo even rented a truck and sent out about 500 face shields to the Navajo Nation in Arizona. So we are incredibly proud. There was actually an episode of 2020 which featured not only Mr. Ezzo, but so many of our incredible families and our students that are involved with that project. So we are really proud of our students, and that's exactly what we do. We step in. We have conversations with our children. You'll hear me say my children, and I do hope that no one takes offense to that. The reason why I say that is because I am going to treat and take care of your children as I want someone to treat and take care of my children. I am missing my kids so much, which is actually part of the reason why I came in the school to do this, just to feel the energy of South Orange Middle School. I wish particularly in this time that we were in school, because my students need my help. They need our help. We are going through a turbulent time, and I know my kids need a little assistance navigating, and that's the sort of thing that we do. So we're going to go right ahead and go through our presentation. At the end of the presentation, we will be taking questions. You can write them in the chat room. If you'd like to leave your email, please do. However, whatever questions we don't get to this evening, we are going to go through the transcript, type up the answers, and send out an FAQ to all families. Let me please start by saying this presentation is based on if we are to return to what should look like a normal school day in September. We don't have that information right now. So those sorts of questions, what are you going to do with this? What are you going to do with that? I really don't have the answers to. So a lot of what we're talking about is still the essence of our school, but certain things are particular to if we come back in September into the building. So Mr. Waldron, if you can begin to scroll through. This is a quick picture, and also parents, I am going to be sending out this presentation to you, so don't worry about taking lots of notes. I will put it through an e-blast tomorrow morning. This is a picture of our 8th grade students. Every year, we take them on an overnight to Washington, D.C., and we go to various museums, we go to the monuments, and this is what our class looks like. So we're very proud of the trip that we're able to take. Next. A picture of our fabulous school, and the next slide is our school vision. The South Orange Maplewood District middle schools will together become the top performing middle level system in the nation by focusing on academic excellence, responsiveness to student needs, and social equity. We will accomplish this by supporting our students to demonstrate academic and personal growth and achieve at their highest levels. Come on, Mr. Walter. And I'll give you Mr. Jennings.
All right, good evening, families. Right now, I'm going to talk a little bit about curriculum and instruction, and I know you can read, but we have a core 4 of ELA, math, science, and social studies that your children will participate every day in classes. We also have the related arts program and some electives. Like this coming school year, we will be offering Mandarin Chinese along with Spanish. Physical education program is a program where students go every other day. They attend PE every other day, and they also have health for a semester. But our related arts is separated into a trimester situation. So they won't have all of those things at one time, but they will have them. Next. Our ELA program, we try to give students appreciation and study of various literary genres. We look at the realistic fiction, historical fiction, fantasy. For example, writing, they do narrative writing, journals, sequels, prequels, fantasy, argumentative, informative, social justice, and student activity. Next. 6th grade math offerings. You have the regular 6th grade math, which covers the curriculum that is based on the national standards. And we also have pre-algebra. Pre-algebra students, 6th grade students that take pre-algebra should have completed 6th grade math. However, there's some students that are accelerated, and this is a 7th grade class they will be taking. So when you make that selection, please be careful and be cognizant of, the expectations in a pre-algebra class. And if you have a high stress student, and if they begin to struggle, please, we always have the opportunity to level down. So keep that in mind when you think about your math selection. Social studies. Social studies cover a whole lot. They go to civil rights, World War I, World War II, the Civil War, Reconstruction, and it's just foundations of American government. It's a 6th grade social studies curriculum. Next, science. Science, you're developing an understanding of matter, measuring matter, phase changes of matter, energy, and defining what energy is, thermal energy, Newton's laws. Next slide.
And now we'll have a video from the Media Center. Stand by.
Welcome to the SOMS Library.
I apologize if you can't hear the sound.
Our graphic novels and young adult fiction. The loan period to borrow books are 2 full weeks. We also have an awesome collection of periodicals and magazines for our students to enjoy. You can learn more about our library by visiting our website at somslibrarymediacenter.org. The homepage of our library website features a welcome message to our students and includes the links to join our fun and interactive SOMS virtual library via Google Classroom. Our distance learning page features online databases that includes usernames and passwords to enter each site. We are excited to introduce our brand new Mac and Via ebook collection that all students in the South Orange and Maplewood School District now have access to read books online. Our distance learning page also has a link to South Orange Public Library's research and ebook databases. We also have trial subscriptions to Tumblebook and Teen Cloud ebooks that both our students and parents can take advantage of. Our library service page features our amazing student newspaper entitled The SOMS Voice. We are exceptionally proud of this year's issue. I am eagerly anticipating the arrival of our incoming 6th graders in September, the fall of 2020.
Back to the. Okay.
And
Hello,
Mr.
my name is Jacob Mazzo, and the teaching clip you're about to see
Okay,
is
well,
from
excuse
the
me.
April drumming class.
Find out why Mr. Ezzo is coming up. Sorry about that. Can you hear me, Miss Irby?
Yes.
Hello, my name is Jacob Mazzo, and the
How
teaching
does
clip you're
that?
about to see is from one of my 8th grade April drumming classes.
Don't know how we're getting.
Our technical difficulties.
All right. And where is Mr. Ezzo speaking from?
Some of the sections have already begun to learn the parts, like the bass drum
Of
section.
course,
so pick
we
up
have a
right
technical
around where
difficulty.
we
I have
begin
no
to put
idea what
things
that
together.
is.
The object of this lesson was to learn the main beat of herself, which
Let's
funk,
see.
which is the name of a piece, which is a joint
Of course, we
student-teacher
can't
composed
figure out how to
piece,
get
and
back
learn
to
the
that.
Just like Mr. Ezzo to want to join in and steal all the thunder.
Let's do this.
All while having a lot of fun doing so.
Welcome to the SOMS
Of
Library
course, we're going to do
Media
the
Center.
Psalms thing again. Here we go. All right, there we go. We got rid of them. We're excellent.
So we're
Let's
getting
get
ready
back.
to talk about, Mr. Waldron, the world language, Spanish and Mandarin Chinese. Let me take this over for a moment. Parents, you should have received a Google survey as to whether or not you wanted your child to take, and in discussion with them, Spanish or Mandarin Chinese. Again, Mandarin Chinese is new to us this year. If you did not get the form, please make sure you email your principal, and you are feel free to email me as well, lirby@somsd.k12.nj.us. If you have a change of mind, it's no problem as long as we get that information before the end of the school year.
And excellent. This is a good segue. We offer both now Spanish and the Mandarin being the new language. The children are offered this on a AB flip with the related arts. And obviously you can see here the various different things that are taught throughout the world language and, well, again, the Spanish and Mandarin. As we move to the 6th grade health, which is also part of the related arts, you can see what the essential questions are. The object is to work with the students on their wellness, their body systems, and character education, along with nutrition. But the one thing here is we want to teach the students about all the different areas of health that will start them off through the middle school. And again, there are various topics that that are not here listed that will come up in the 7th and 8th grade year. As we move into phys ed, obviously we know this. We want our children to be moving. Moving throughout the PE class is always a great thing. They have it every other day, and it's full year. They are expected to change their clothes as much as they can, because obviously if you're sweating all day and then, or if you have phys ed in the morning and then you come in the afternoon, it can be a little bit of, it can create a little bit of an issue. So we like the students, if they can, to change, because it makes, obviously, for their clothes to be clean when they come out of phys ed. Again, they'll need a lock, because we do have lockers there, and obviously they can keep stuff in it, but if they leave it in too long, they need to take it home and get it washed. That's always important. So I always suggest that for them to take it out at the end of each period, take it home, wash, and then bring back the clothes or a new set of clothes for the next phys ed class. The next piece I'll start talking about is to our parents who have special education students. The director of special services is Dr. Melody Algeria. She's new to the district. She just came on board in the last few weeks. Miss Ellis is the supervisor, who was also formerly a teacher here at SOMS, and Miss Karen Tomney is also a supervisor. Basically, our special education program is broken up into a bunch of different small components. We have an MD program, which is our self-contained, which also includes our ABA students. There are 2 separate classes, but they run similar type of programs where the students are self-contained, but they move into the related arts classes and are matriculated on a regular basis. Then we have our pull-out replacement, where students who are pulled out of a subject area when they're struggling, and they go into a small class where the work is given to them the same as they would receive in the regular classroom, but it's given to them in smaller chunks. It's modified, and it's set up for instance, a reading level. If you have an ELA student who struggles on the reading level, they'll get the same article, but it may be written slightly different in order for them to best understand and learn. And then the teacher can progress them through the reading material at a slower pace, but at a pace that's more conducive to them. Then we have obviously our in-class resource, where we have the second teacher in the room, and those classes students get to go into, where they have 2 teachers in the room. Again, there's differentiation and modified work for those students as well. But again, everything is on just step by step, and it's done on a student by student need, and it's determined by, you see the child study team, Dana Franza, Miss Moy, and Miss Catalano. And again, we have Miss Steiner, who is our counseling service social worker. She will be included in that in certain situations when needed. As we move to the next thing, the 504s, this is a step down from the IEP program, but it is something similar. They run parallel. 504s can be implemented in the regular classroom by a regular classroom teacher. 504s, any of them that are students that are coming to SOMS with the 504, their 504 will be sent to us, and we will review it. The teachers will get a copy of it, so don't worry, parents. The copy will be sent to us. We will look at it and see that the services that are in there are middle school quality services. Obviously, if we see that the services are more elementary, we'll call you in sooner for a meeting, obviously, to get that ball rolling with more middle school services for the 504. But again, all teachers start the year with a copy of the 504, and they move through that to start. And then again, we adjust as we need. And we do have meetings, obviously, to start the year. We will start like October, November time, where you'll start to come in, and we'll readjust all the 504s as we move forward through the middle school experience. Now I'll turn the mic over to Dr. Lash. You'll just need to unmute yourself, Dr. Lash.
Yes, good evening, all you superstar parents from South Orange and Maplewood School District. My name is Dr. Lash, and I'm on the I-STEP academic intervention teacher. I-STEP is a therapeutic education program for students. Our program provides individual groups and family counseling to students with significant social, emotional, and behavioral issues, in addition to providing consultation and collaboration with staff members working with our students. It's a program that we actually have tailored for specific students that will help them throughout the course of a school year become successful academically, socially, and emotionally.
You'll be able to tell that this is probably my favorite part. Our performing arts department, for music, we have, and the students in sixth grade, they must have a music class. It's either chorus, band, or orchestra. With the chorus, there are two other additional ensembles by audition, which is the select choir and the rolling tones. I will say that this year, unfortunately, they were unable to go, but the Rolling Tones, which is an a cappella group, was slated to go to Disney World to perform. Our HSA and the fundraising that Mr. Ezzo did allowed them to go there, but unfortunately their trip was canceled. So who knows, sixth graders, perhaps you'll be part of that next year. We have a jazz ensemble with the band, with the orchestra. We also have our early morning strings quintet, and I can tell you that my children come at 7:30 in the morning on Wednesdays just to practice with Mr. Cook. Another favorite of mine, we have drama at our middle school and the Alvin Ailey dance residency. This perhaps is my favorite, and the children who are involved will often see me taking class with them on Wednesdays. So it's an ensemble. It really starts in the 7th and 8th grade, where a teaching artist from the Alvin Ailey American Dance Center comes to us for 13 weeks every Wednesday in the morning, and they begin to learn various aspects of dance. That then culminates in a performance at SOPAC. The residency is also with Maplewood Middle School, so the performance at SOPAC, the really nice thing about it is that's an opportunity for both middle schools to come together. And this past year, they did have their performance. It was in early February, and the high school also performed in that. It's absolutely phenomenal. But for my sixth grade students, don't worry, Miss Irby has you covered. I run a dance program here, and after school, we meet in the auditorium, and it's me and you. And we talk about, learn ballet and modern and jazz and African and all different types of dance styles. And at the end of the year, we have a performance. And yes, Miss Irby will be on that stage with their dancers. For visual arts, we have Art 3D and Art 2D, and our children are exposed to both throughout their years here at South Orange Middle School. And now we go to Ms. Prahl to talk about our school counseling program.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm happy to be here, although it's not face-to-face, which we thrive on. We just want to let you know that your students and your child will be in great hands next year. Besides the teachers, administration, other staff, it's a super welcoming and caring place. So that's why we consider our counseling center to be home. We're a safe, confidential place where your children may discuss academic, social, and other emotional concerns. And I put an asterisk next to confidential, and you can learn more about confidentiality in a school setting, in a counseling or social work setting on the website linked below. And like Ms. Irby said before, you'll be provided a copy of this PowerPoint. So please check that out. There's a lot of good stuff on there. Just in general, we're here to listen and assist each student and your family in finding the best solution. So we're not going to tell you what to do or what solution might be the best. We're going to help guide you. So it's kind of like in our name. It's not the typical guidance counselor that I was used to having or that you might be used to having or had in the past. So it's definitely changed throughout the years, which is great. And in total, we just want to make sure they're leading a balanced life within school and outside of school. But obviously, with the times that we're in now, we just want to let you know that we are going to be there for your children. So not only in our office are we offering those services, but within a classroom setting, we like to pop in because, unlike elementary school, we don't get as much time as a counselor would. So we like to have advisory periods, which happen like every so often on Fridays each month. And these lessons are kind of just dedicated to issues and other things that the teachers might see happening, administration might see happening, and we kind of all come together and say, you know what, I think September we need to talk about organization. You know, these kids we're finding having they're just shoving their papers in their folders. You know, we have a lot of parents coming in and saying the same thing, that homework's an issue. So we kind of curtail a lot of these advisory lessons to specific issues. On a social emotional level, you know, we might talk about topics that are happening in the real world as we see today. And we do so in restorative circle type of settings. So that would be something that myself or Ms. Steiner would love to pop in and assist the teacher who may not be specifically trained in something like that as we were. So we just want to say, you know, we're excited to welcome you and your children into our school, and we look forward to seeing you.
And Ms. Steiner? Okay, Ms. Steiner was there. I don't see her picture.
I'm here,
Oh,
but
there you are. I'm sorry.
I think this is actually the health slide, the nursing slide. If you want to get to, somebody can either do the nursing slide or we can go back and forth.
No, well, just to let you know, our school nurse is Mr. Keith Turpin. And again, his goal is to also support student education. There are times when he goes into the classroom and assists teachers. He's there for health screenings, medication administration. So if any parent, if you have a child who requires medication, that must be sent to the health office with the prescription so that he knows the doses and when it's to be given.
And I'm Allison Steiner, and I'm so happy to be here. We miss our children very much, and we're so excited for them coming. We do have a social work program, and there are basically two major components to our program. There's the counseling element, and as Stephanie Kroll discussed, there definitely is some overlap with guidance counselors, but the subtle differentiation is that we tend to work more with the ongoing issues. We have interns from many of the local graduate schools in our area. So for instance, NYU, Columbia, Rutgers, sometimes Ramapo, and they are all getting their masters in social work. Usually they are towards the end of their degree because this is considered a complex internship. And so we tend to have pretty sophisticated interns. They work with students on focusing on their executive functioning skills, friendship and social skills, stress management for students who have ongoing issues. And then going forward for next year, we are beginning to think about using interns in a more robust way to help our students with engagement with the remote environment. And that is not, I'm not trying to hint to anybody that we know what is going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen, but we really just want to make sure that next year, regardless of whether kids are coming off of this incredibly difficult year that we had, or whether we are going to have another year that has some element of remote learning. We want our children to know that they're part of a loving community that cares about their education and their well-being, and that their role as students is a really important part of who they are. And we're going to help to make this as full and active a role for them to participate in. So that falls under the counseling part of the social work program. And the second part of our program has to do with school climate initiatives. So what that means is we focus on the non-academic issues that can impact a school. For instance, I'm the anti-bullying specialist, and part of my role is that in addition to doing investigations, is creating programs such as the Week of Respect, or doing ongoing anti-bullying initiatives in classrooms, or the advisory period, sometimes doing school-wide initiatives, sometimes doing assemblies. And then we also deal with, I couldn't think of like an overall topic to call this, so I just call this of the moment issues. So for instance, things that are going on in society at large, if there's a current event that's had an impact on our community. So like, for example, this Thursday, we're gonna host a forum for our students to discuss the national issues around race and police and what it means to them, helping them to contextualize their feelings and their emotions, as well as to help them connect with things that they as middle schoolers can do to address these issues if they want to. We work on dealing with community losses. So those losses can be due to any number of things. If there is the horrific situation when there might be a death in our community, or a negative event that has happened within the community that has a profound impact on us. So we plan responses such as immediate grade-wide or school-wide assemblies, providing scripts for teachers so that they can run circle discussions in their classrooms. We do short-term counseling sessions for students who need help in processing their reactions to whatever that event may be. And we help to coordinate a school-wide or district-wide response to any super difficult issues. So it's a really robust program. It's something we're really proud of, and we try to work really closely. There's so much overlap with guidance. We have a wonderful relationship, and we work really closely with the teachers as well to help train them so that their social and emotional comfort and abilities are up to the highest level as well. So, thank you.
So what does a typical day in middle school look like? Our doors open at 8:12 a.m. The sixth graders, they enter through the rear of the door. We have a drop off. You come down the driveway, drop your child off, and parents keep going. And you will see my face out there every morning. Usually Dr. Lash is out there as well, welcoming our students. They enter through the back door. They go straight to their lockers, they unpack, and then they go to their first period class, which is their homeroom class. The actual school day for instruction begins at 8:20. So you see, we let the kids in 8 minutes early, which is plenty of time to go to their lockers, get unpacked, gather all their materials, and then go to their classes. There are 4 core classes that they will have every day: math, language arts, science, and social studies. They have 2 related arts periods. And again, those rotate on an A-B day, but they have 2 every day. The lunch period is 30 minutes, and students are dismissed at 3:05. Once they're dismissed, they go to their lockers, they pack up what they need, and they head on out the door. There's no specific door that they go out. So what normally happens is that if you're picking your child up, you say where you're going to meet them. Usually the back is the best way because the front gets very, very crowded. And students are allowed to go to their lockers in the morning, before lunch, after lunch, and then again at the end of the day. Also for 6th grade lunch, I'm the administrator with the 6th grade lunch. You see, I like to grab hold of my children when they come in the door just to make sure they feel comfortable. So how does our 6th grade schedule support student success? One thing in the middle school is that we are teamed. So there are 3 teams in the 6th grade. Each has one of the 4 components. And they're really small learning communities. So very often team 6A may want to meet in the little theater, which is our smaller auditorium, and have a team building activity, something that they need to discuss, something that they're doing. Lots of times when we take field trips, it's too large to take 280 some odd, and next year 290 6th graders on one field trip. So what we do is we divide it up by teams. So 6A may go one day, then 6B and 6C. That really helps our teachers get to know the students. So if the parents, if you ever want to meet with the teacher, you'll meet with the whole team, because it's really nice to hear the perspective from all team members. They work very much together. They'll be using the same documents. If it's Google Doc, homework will be in one place. And again, they really get to know your child, and your child really gets to know their team of teachers and the team leaders. Unfortunately, we had 2 of our team leaders who were trying to get on this evening but weren't able to. And this is the reason for the team leader. The team leaders meet with me and the administrative team every week, and we may talk about different things that are going on, personalizing the education, organizing, implementing grade level activities. If we were in school right now, especially with our 6th graders, you'd see them outside for field day, and each team organizes their own field day where they spend the entire day outside. As you know, we have the beautiful Floods Hill and all the parks right near us. The different extended learning opportunities, these are just a few. We always go to SOPAC. They go to the Hayden Planetarium, the Intrepid, the Bueller Challenge and Science Museum, the Newark Museum Star Lab, which also comes to us. And I was so grateful for our sixth grade science teachers. They were able to host a virtual field day, field trip during our distance learning, which was really great. We have different field days, and then again, our sixth grade HSA activities. Our after-school activities, lots of clubs. This is only a few. A lot of it goes by student interest, what they say they want. But these are some of the things that we've had. Students for Social Change, obviously our No Place for Hate club, the MLK club, the Spectrum club, a Boys to Men club, the Sisterhood club, student government. There's the after-school chorus. There's a yearbook club. There's the newspaper club, the school musical, which we have a very special presentation from our cast this year. We also have YouthNet after-school clubs. And YouthNet, there is clubs that are run every day after school. One of our teachers actually teaches, and it's usually something that even the teachers have a passion for. Like we had someone who ran a knitting club. We had someone who ran a track club or a volleyball club. Those are some of the different activities. Very inexpensive. There are scholarships. I think you pay $25 or $50 and you can take as many clubs as you want. You can take one every day of the week. And there's a winter session and a spring session. With the YouthNet, they also have extended care, which lasts until 6 p.m. They may go to their clubs. We have an open gym for them, and then they go into the cafeteria where there's a snack. They're able to do their homework. And again, these are teachers and community members that run that program. And then again, the overwhelming number of HSA sponsored activities, and I'll get to that a little bit later. The all-school musical. Well, I have, before you click that, Mr. Waldron, I have to say, that is probably my all-time favorite. I don't know if I have parents here who were here 2 years ago, but I begged and begged Miss Harris to let me in the musical, and she did, and I had a part, and I came out on stage, and I started tap dancing with my kids, and it was great. I was looking forward to this year. We were going to do Mamma Mia, and my cast obviously was so upset that we weren't able to do it, but they put together a little something for my students who are watching, so take a look.
Okay, here we go. Let's do this.
Incoming sixth graders should join the school play because it helps you meet new people and make new friends.
You guys should definitely do the play next year because it's a great experience and a way to meet new people, and it's so much fun.
No matter what, you always get a part, and it's just, everything is so fun about it, like the dancing and like the costumes and just being with everybody. And there's so many traditions, and it's just really, really fun and so good.
I couldn't imagine a world where I wasn't in a all-school musical. I gained so many new friends and truly became a better person.
The SOMS All-School Musical presents great opportunities to be creative and have fun for whatever fits your interest, all alongside wonderful teachers and classmates.
My favorite part of the musical is that it's like a big family and everybody's always there for you.
It's really fun to just be a part of a production, even if you have a small role. It's fun to learn the choreography and the music.
I suggest you join the SOMS All-School Musical if you want to meet new friends and have a great time.
I enjoy being in musicals because I love to sing and act on stage, and I love interacting with the other actors and the crew members.
I've done it all 3 years, and I don't regret it. You can build your way up, you meet new people, you learn amazing songs, and you really have a fun time.
It's a great experience. You get to meet and talk with a lot of new people, and it's just fun.
It's a great social experience, and you get to meet so many new people, as well as share laughs and have great times, just make tons of jokes with them.
It's like a second family. It's so fun.
One thing I really liked about being in a musical was the choreography. It was always really, really fun to do and learn.
The school play is awesome because it takes a lot of hard work and responsibility to put together, but it's also super fun
I mean, it's fun because you make new friends.
You get to do a lot of teamwork exercises and you get to meet a lot of new people.
I love doing the musical because it allows you to hang out with so many new people while doing things you love. Being part of the all-school musical was one of the best experiences of my life. I learned so many things, and I will always forever cherish the memories I made with the friends there.
You should definitely be a part of the school play. It's such a blast.
So I encourage you to join next year because it's so much fun.
So join us.
So I thought that was really nice for our students to put together. They meet actually every Friday. They have a Zoom rehearsal, I'll call it, and it's really nice. I get to join them every once in a while. I keep telling Miss Harris, one of these days, somebody's going to let me sing on that stage. So this is an example, and mind you, Mr. Jennings is laughing in the background. Someone's going to let me sing. Someone is going to let me sing. At any rate, we have YouthNet clubs. The director is Diane Malloy. And again, we discussed this. These are some of the clubs that we've had at different times. I do see some questions in the chat, but again, we'll get to them because I'm not sure. We're typing some answers, but I don't know if everyone sees it. So I'll go over those. We talked about the extended care and the Achieve Tutoring. The Achieve Tutoring program seeks to improve the academic performance of students who are struggling. Either a parent can request Achieve Tutoring, a teacher might reach out to the parent and say, hey, you know, we have this program. There are about 250 tutors. They're able to assist 300 students. The tutors, they're trained. They come from the high school. And we have a really good program with them. And I can honestly say that I've seen a lot of progress from those students. I talked about some of the awards and honors that we've received throughout the year. I could go on and on about the accolades of my children here, but they're phenomenal. The HSA, can you go to the next slide? I believe there was an updated slide. Okay, so here we go. The HSA at work. Our new co-presidents for the upcoming school year are Shayna Sackett-Gable and Miss Jen Saravello. So we're really excited. They will be sending you out lots and lots of information. You can look at this slide, and again, I will send it out. I can't talk enough about our HSA. They are nothing short of fantastic. I have to tell you, the first year when I got here and we had the idea to take the kids to Washington, D.C., which is actually something that SOMS used to do many, many years ago. The one thing I said is that any child who wanted to go to Washington, D.C. was going to go to Washington, D.C. And the HSA went on this incredible fundraising campaign and was able to raise over $8,000 for us to give for scholarships for students to go to Washington, D.C. As I said, we do not let the economics stop us from doing anything. If there's something that we want to do, if there's something that you want to do, you bring it to the HSA, we're going to find a way to make it happen. With all this going on with the pandemic, HSA put their heads together and said, something new this year. Every 8th grade student is going to be getting a lawn sign. Usually that's reserved for the high school, but it just says, congratulations, SOMS graduate. And tomorrow, my incredible team of teachers, administrators, and staff, Mr. Little, our head custodian, is joining us. We are going to deliver 285 signs to every single 8th grade student. And I want to thank the HSA for that. They also got a t-shirt for every 8th grade student. And in fact, one of our HSA parents drove to Long Island today because the t-shirts were going to be delayed, but they wanted the kids to have it tomorrow with their sign. Kids didn't even know they were getting this until today when I sent out an e-blast saying, get ready, we're coming, we're going to be beeping the horn and hopefully taking pictures 6 feet away, of course, with our kids. But I am super excited because I get to see them. So please join the HSA, get involved. They are an incredible group. So I thank you to the HSA. PowerSchool access. I'm not sure how much parents used PowerSchool in the elementary school, but this is where you will get access. We will make sure you have the information for how to get that access if you don't already have it. This is where you can check attendance records, you can check the progress report, you can look at comments, you can check at grades. Now, my daughter, she is a senior in high school, so she is super excited that I will no longer be able to be a PowerSchool junkie and check her grades all the time. But as a parent, this is what I like. If I saw that grades were slipping, I was able to do my part as a parent and say, hey, what's going on? What happened to this assignment? I saw you working on it. Didn't you hand it in? Because lots of times that's what happens. So PowerSchool is your friend. Utilize it often. However, let me just say this, PowerSchool will never replace a conversation with your child's teacher. Our teachers know they will reach out to you when kids are doing fantastic. They will reach out to you if they see something different. You'll have your 6th grade teachers who will say, you know what, Sarah came to school 5 minutes late for the last 4 days. What's going on? How can I help? So what's going to happen between now and September? Right now, we have already put together, some of my fantastic teachers, a virtual tour. They actually came into the building and they videotaped going around to the different areas of the school. It does not replace a tour. And I do know that one of the questions was, if we are coming back to school, will there be a tour? If I'm allowed, trust me, it's going to be done. If I have to do it in small groups and do it in groups of 25, that's what we'll do. I want the opportunity to have a face-to-face with my children coming into the school. I want them to get familiar with the school. I want them to be able to look at the hallways, because when they walk in, it's scary for many of them. Some have been in the building, so they're going to say they're a pro at this. But for others, you know, it's a big building. They are now going to be in a school with over 800 students. And they're used to being in a cafeteria with maybe 50, 60, 75, 80 kids. I don't know. Now they're going to be in with every 6th grader, 200 and something kids. The great thing about the staff here and the facilities that we have is that after kids eat, we take them outside, weather permitting, throughout the year, so they can just run off a little energy. I don't believe that, even though we don't call it recess, kids need to get outside. So your student schedules, they will be prepared once we have all the information regarding the math levels. And just to go back over that, same with the Mandarin Chinese. If you did not have an opportunity to fill out your selection of the math levels, every elementary school principal has a list of students who didn't select and we'll be reaching out to you, but when in doubt, shoot them an email so that they can send us the spreadsheet. So once we have the math level information and once we have the Mandarin, the world language selection, we will begin schedules. Schedules will be mailed home in August along with a supply list. A general supply list that we have always used, I believe is on the net. Here we go. 2 locks. So why do you need 2 locks? You need to have a hallway locker and you have a locker room locker. The thing about the locker room, they do not keep that all year long. They use it for the period that they're in the gym, and then they take the lock off and they take all their items with them. They will need a binder with dividers and loose leaf paper and pencil and pens and all of that. This is going to change. And this is again where, depending on what we're doing in September, will depend on what the supplies look like. If we're told everybody needs their own thing, we're going to send you out a list that says everybody needs a drawstring bag and they need their own calculator, or they need their own this, or they need their own that. I can't say exactly what that is right now, but trust me, you will get that information in a timely manner. So, again, thinking that we're coming to school in September, what does the first day look like? Students will enter again through the rear of the building. They'll probably be outside and the administrative team will be out there for the first day. The good news is that our 6th graders come, they come by themselves, right? It's 6th and 7th grade. Right. So my 8th graders are not here the first day when the 6th graders come in. we go to the cafeteria. And that's where many parents will stand at the window and say, can I please come in, Miss Irby? And I'm going to have to say, they're in good hands. I promise you they're in good hands. And they come into the cafeteria and we have a convocation. I introduce myself to them again. Great conversations. They will meet their team leader. They will meet their teachers. They will meet their homeroom teacher. They're then going to go to their homeroom class, where we do, again, another special orientation where we talk about how to read a schedule. We give out locker assignments. They'll do another tour of SOMS because now they have a schedule. So we'll be able to say, this is this room, this is your social studies room. So now they'll be able to put a face with a name or a room number with a location. And then lots of getting to know you activities. So it's a relaxed day. They will have lunch. They will be introduced to their related arts teachers. They don't have to change the first couple of days of school for PE. But it's not a rigorous, go to every class, you can't be late, here's your homework, especially coming off a pandemic. I know the stress that parents are feeling during this time. And I say that firsthand because I am a parent. And even though my child is a senior in high school, I have gone through as much, if not more, of stress and anxiety. She lost everything. She had the lead in the play, which was canceled. There was the trip to Italy, which was canceled. There was no prom. There is no graduation. There is no senior trip. So all of that. And so I had to deal with that anxiety, those tears, the stress of still getting work, trying to get that done. So yes, there were times when she didn't get up until 12 o'clock in the afternoon, but we tried to get it done. So we know that there's a lot of gaps that we're going to have to fill in. And parents, I want to tell you, we will get it done. My superstar teachers, if there are any gaps, we're going to fill them in. I need you now to, like I've told my parents right now, focus on your child's mental health. Make sure they're okay, and the work is going to get done. Just some pictures of some of the great activities and things that we've done here at SOMS. There's my dance group, the orchestra, and just the kids being themselves. Oh, I miss my babies. Next slide.
Miss Irby?
Yes.
Would you like Miss Grant to come in and say a few words at this time?
Oh, absolutely. Miss Grant is one of our incredible sixth grade team leaders, and she's been trying to get on, so I'm glad she's there. Yes, Miss Grant, take it away.
I'm trying to get her unmuted, but apparently she, of course, let's see.
Okay, we'll go to the next slide. They can look at pictures.
Miss Grant is not appearing now at this time, so I'm sorry, Miss Irby.
That's okay. This is a display that SOMS did at the board office. You know, when we do something with SOMS, we do it big. So we tried to take up almost every inch of the walls there at the board office. So this was a great thing. Every year, our children, our choir, has been asked to go to the naturalization ceremony, which happens at SOPAC. This would have been our 4th year going. Our select choir sings, and they invite some of our 7th grade social studies students to go and actually witness a naturalization ceremony. So it's really exciting, and it's really nice that of all the schools that they could have invited to participate, they asked us.
Miss Irby, Miss Grant's unmuted now, so she can.
Okay, Miss Grant, take it away.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay, I welcome all of your 6th graders to join SOMS in the fall. Like Miss Irby said earlier, we will take care of them. It's a wonderful experience, and after, I won't tell you how many years, the first day of school is still exciting for Mrs. Grant, just as exciting as it is for my young 6th graders that are coming in. So we look forward to seeing them. We look forward to working with you in partnership to make this an exciting year and a wonderful transition year for your 6th grader. We are here to help them. We are here to lead the way. And again, we look forward to seeing you in September. And just, keep in mind to, like Ms. Irby said, is to keep them safe for us right now. And that's what should be your main focus. And when they come to us, they'll come to us and we'll take care of them. So again, I'm sorry that I can't, that you can't see me, but I do want to extend our welcome to you. South Orange Middle School is a wonderful place to be. I'm so happy to be a part of the South Orange Middle School team. And again, we look forward to seeing you in the fall.
Ms. Grant, can you talk a little bit about your incredible science fair?
Yes, every year we have a science fair, SOMS Science Fair. It's a wonderful time for young scientists to show what they know. I have great Columbia High School students that come back and they judge the science fair, and they're wonderful with the young scientists. So it's wonderful to see them come back and seeing them as they're getting their college acceptance, and I'm having conversations with them, and they're having wonderful conversations with my young scientists. I have workshops that lead them into the science fair, so it's not something that you have to worry about as a parent. Of course, we need your support at home, but I actually lead them through the whole entire scientific process and inquiry with the workshops that I hold prior to the science fair. But I'll give you more information about the science fair as we get close to the workshop events. But it's a wonderful event. We always have it at School in Action Night. And I have to say, it's like the last huge event before the night ends. So it's a wonderful and exciting event. And again, the HSA has sponsored that event for me year after year. So please support them, because they are always there to help us. They are always there to help us financially, or to help us with their manpower, their HSA power, to help us with events. But they're very supportive. So please join and participate, because I don't know what SOMS would be without their SOMS HSA behind them.
Thank you, Ms. Grant.
You're welcome. And have a good evening.
Any more slides? I can go to some questions that we have. So these are some of my grade 6 students. You'll look at some of the costumes. You're like, what is that? We have a 6th grade Monster Bash. It's one of the first programs that we have for our 6th grade students. And they come in on Halloween. It's after school. They get dressed after school. And we have a great time in the gym with them. Again, that's an HSA sponsored event. Grade 7, lots of outdoor science activities. They do a great, the river walk. So something for them to look forward to in grade 7. And 8th grade, some of the activities that we do, besides our trip to Washington, D.C., we go to medieval times, we go to Seton Hall, just to view what's right in our neighborhood. A Black History Month assembly program, which we have. If you can, I'm trying to point as if you could see it, but in the top left corner under the word the M, that's me dancing with the kids with regular clothes on. I didn't even have a costume on, but yeah, that's me. So yeah, our MLK Club does some really phenomenal things. Question. So I'm going to, if you see my eyes moving, because I'm trying to use another computer to look at some of the questions that have been asked. And now I can't see them.
Miss Irby,
yes.
Are you able to see the Q&A? Because there are 2 areas that the questions are coming into. One is into the chat area, and the other is a Q&A. Do you see the Q&A section?
I see the chat.
You see the chat. Okay. Do you want to take care of those questions?
Yes.
If there's any, and then I'll read you the Q&A questions, and we can work from there.
Perfect. Okay, so I don't know if parents are seeing this. So the one question was about, will there be, again, a tour if we're going back to school? I would love for there to be a tour. In September, it's like the 2nd or 3rd day of school. We also have an ice cream social, which is a time we're outside and the HSA sponsors it. And it's really an ice cream social. And the kids come, and it's an opportunity for you to meet some of the 6th grade teachers or any of the staff that's here. We have talked with the HSA about possibly doing something like that in the park over the summer. Especially now that they're opening up the numbers of kids that can gather. We have all this space. There's no reason why we can't put something like that together. It would also give us, there are children coming from different elementary schools. So we want to start, making friendships and forming bonds there. Yeah, we're going to send that to them. So students, are they able to be dropped off for breakfast? Yes, we have a breakfast program that begins at 7:30. You would drop your child off and they would come right into the cafeteria door, which is in the back. They sit in the cafeteria, they eat their breakfast, and then when the bell rings, they go to their specific door, depending on what grade level they're in, and then they enter the building. The after-school clubs, the extended day programming starts as soon as the school year begins. The youth net clubs usually start the beginning to the middle of October. Is there a place for kids to leave their bikes? Yes, outside of the school, as you're coming down the driveway, there are several bike racks there. Make sure you lock them and they will be safe. How will you do orientation for incoming students? I'm hoping that some of the kids are watching tonight. If not, this has been recorded, and I know that the district is going to put it up on the website. So it's one way for them to get started. And several other virtual events that we're going to try to get going over the summer. Again, we're waiting on guidance from our district office to say what we can do. I would love to have another orientation sometime during the summer. I'm here all summer, so I would love to do it. Any recommendations in terms of a planner? Hold off on that. Hold off on buying the planner. Right now, it should be based off of what works best for your student. I'm not sure how many of the elementary schools use the Google platform, but everything will always be posted on the computer. Some children love still to write it down. We can talk about planners, but I want to wait until we find out what's going on with the school year. But it's really what your child feels comfortable, their organizational skills, and again, we'll work with them on that. How can students selecting the advanced math prepare for September? Yes, there are resources. They're going to be, it should be coming out from the supervisor is Kim Bean. We'll be sending out different resources to families on how to prepare. There are several skill booster programs. I'm not sure if it's for graduating fifth graders, but I will certainly find that out. And in the FAQ that I send out, I'll make sure I have more information on that. But if the elementary school doesn't have the packet to send home, we will certainly, now that I have everyone's email, I can e-blast or send that out to the parents looking for it. Just to help them. And again, some summer things just to keep them focused, not to overwhelm them. Our children have probably had enough of staring at a computer and trying to do work. The best bet, yes, there are math things that you can do, lots of math games, but also read. Find your child's interest. If you look on our website to the library, lots of free online books. We've even linked up with the South Orange Public Library, giving access to our kids, and I will make sure that our incoming fifth graders have all that they need so that they can begin exploring what they like to do. What is the homework expectation? Yes, 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 my children, you are going to have homework. You are probably going to have homework every night. Is it going to be an hour for each subject? Absolutely not. Homework doesn't replace classroom instruction. It's to be used to solidify what was learned that day. Cell phones, no cell phones. Cell phones, if they enter the building, should be turned off and put in their locker. A number of reasons for that. Parents, I promise you, if you have an issue and you need to either speak with your child or get a message to your child, you will call the main office. I promise you we will get them that message. If your child ever came down to the main office, to Ms. Steiner, to Ms. Prahl, to anyone, and really needed to speak to you, we are going to allow them to use the phone. If it's locked in their locker, that is the safest place for it. South Orange Middle School is not responsible for any lost or stolen phones. So if your child has their cell phone and they leave it on a desk, remember in the middle school, we change classes. And then they come back and they don't see it there, or they forgot where they left it. So again, cell phones should be turned off and put in their locker. Their locker is locked. And that's why we suggest, if anything you want to do this summer, get your child a master lock and begin practicing. We think it's so easy, but trust me, that is probably the single thing that gives my children the most anxiety, particularly the first week of school, because they cannot remember how to turn it, which way is the right, which way is the left. So please work on that. If for some reason you don't think your child will remember to lock their locker and turn the combination and test it, we will lock it up in our vault. We will put it in a brown envelope with your child's name, and it will be locked up in the vault. There are several students this past year that did that. We keep it safe, and then we give it back to them. How are homerooms selected? Can they be in a homeroom with a friend? Their homeroom is their first period class, so there's no guarantee that they will be with their friend. Remember, you're coming from an elementary school, but there are now 290 plus students, so it probably would be mixed. The likelihood that they'll find a friend in that class that they knew from school, absolutely. And again, we're also going to make new friends. So it's just random in the computer. We put the information we put in the child's name and that they're to have this level math and this related arts classes, and then the computer does the work. So go ahead, Mr. Waldron, if you see any other questions.
Sure, from the Q&A.
Do I tap it?
Yeah, you might be able to see in there. I scrolled to the bottom. We'll start from there and come up because the beginning couple questions are basically they're just about have we started yet? So the first question was, does the school have a garden or gardening program? I saw a green team mentioned.
Yes, we do. Miss Abella, one of our team leaders for the 6th grade, runs a gardening program. We actually have a courtyard in the middle of our school. Is shaped like a diamond almost, and in the middle there's a beautiful courtyard that the kids go out. Sometimes they have class out there, but yes, there is a gardening club. There's a green club, and in fact, I have a 6th grader who has put together a project, and they're currently working with the art teachers of something that they want to do on the outside of the school. So yes, we do have a gardening club.
Summer reading available? Is there a summer reading list available?
I will be sending out summer reading, yes.
New students to the school district, how will we handle that?
I'm not sure what you mean by how we handle, but if anyone is coming in that has missed any of the orientations, they should email me so I can arrange, because if they're brand new, they might not have gotten the e-blast, they might not be in my system of email and telephone addresses. But what we do is if we know someone has come in, our guidance counselors are on it, and what we do is we find them a buddy and pair them up with someone to help them navigate, because it's a little scary, especially if you're brand new and you don't know anyone.
Will the summer math program be held this summer?
Yes, it will. It's going to be virtual. All summer programs this year for the school district will be virtual.
Is there choir by audition?
No, the regular chorus program is just you decide that you want to take chorus. The specialty choirs are through audition, the select choir and then the rolling tones.
A student here was in the 5th grade band, but has requested to switch over to violin. When will they know if their switch has been approved?
If we don't go by what they took or did last year. A Google form was sent out where you were able to select what you wanted to do. This is a great time to change over. If you've been playing the trumpet and you now want to play the violin or the viola, this is a great time to do it. If you did not fill out that form, you should email me.
Will the children be able to do both or join both the chorus and the band?
Not in 6th grade. It's almost impossible.
Here's a quick question about the 504. Again, a 504 is part of the special ed program. It is it's basically measures that can be put into place by a teacher that does not require a special education teacher or a child study team to work with. Rather, it can be done by the school administration, and it is put into place by the actual classroom teachers. Also, there's another 504 question. Somebody asked, okay, 504 plans being transferred. What about INRS intervention plans? Will they be treated the same as 504s will they be reviewed, and then will they also come from the elementary schools?
Absolutely. They will be sent to us, and our INRS team will be looking at it over the summer so that we can find out, look at their action plan, what was done. Again, we realize that things may have stopped, but we're going to pick right up with where the elementary schools left off. So yes, we will have that information.
Here's a question that I can answer, Ms. Irby. How do you determine what team my child will be placed on, 6A or B or C or et cetera? Basically, the computer will do it for us. We will input the information, and then what it does is the PowerSchool program will then take the constraints that we've given it, and it will incorporate a schedule for all the students in 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade. It does it, and then it we tweak it if there's any kind of errors that it kind of puts out. But again, it's a computer-based selection.
So I see one, hold on, I see one question. I'm going to find out about the math program. I will do that first thing in the morning and send something out. Again, I'm not sure if it covers 5th grade going to 6th grade. I know my current middle school students can participate in the Math Boosters program. So I'm really not sure, but I promise to get that information to you as quickly as possible. Every summer program will be starting after July 8th. So we do have a little bit of time. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Ms. Irby, staying on the math question, is it possible to test out of 6th grade math to go into algebra and geometry, working on the 9th grade curriculum?
So here's how it works. As a 6th grade student, you select the math. We see how they're going. Obviously, if a child is doing extremely well, let's say they've chosen 6th grade math, the teacher will talk with the math coach, will talk with the parents and see what can be done. If a child is taking the pre-algebra class, 7th grade, they take algebra, 8th grade, they'll be taking geometry. That's what's offered here at the middle school.
Obtaining information regarding the extended care program, where would they get that?
We're going to send that out.
Okay. The supply list will be on the website at a later date?
Yes.
Okay. Let me
One question here, will this be recorded? Yes, it's being recorded, and it will be up on the district website with all our glitches.
And then there's one here. Can you hold live Zoom instruction if we are at home?
I don't know the way of the district for September. I will say that.
The length of each class during each period?
Say that again?
The length of each class.
I'm sorry. Our classes are 50 minutes, and then students have 3 minutes to get from one class to another. It sounds like it's not a lot. I promise you they'll make it.
Is there a visiting artist program for the visual arts similar to the Alvin Ailey?
Not exactly the same way. With the Alvin Ailey, that was a grant that was written. I assisted with it. Mr. Mano, our visual and performing arts supervisor, along with SOPAC and the Alvin Ailey Foundation, worked on that grant. We do have visiting artists that come in from time to time that may work with students. So it depends on really what's going on and who may be available. But we're always looking for people to come in and share their experiences. 2 years ago, we had a phenomenal program with a professor of English at Seton Hall University who was doing a writing class, and her students in their writing class, part of their class was to come down and work with our 8th grade students on a Friday. And together they wrote scripts, they wrote short stories, and then they actually, again, had a performance of their short stories at SOPAC. And that was a collaboration that we were able to form. And I thank Ms. Grant because she had the connection with one of her neighbors who is a professor at Seton Hall University.
Here's one, Ms. Irby. I can even answer this for you. 6th grade classes, are they close together? I know the classroom's organized by subject. They're all basically on the 2nd floor when you enter from the main entrance at the top of the school. If you enter down on by the parking lot, that'll send you on the bottom floor, which is where the cafeteria is. When you enter, because we're on the side of a mountain, we enter on the 2nd floor and the top, and then the bottom floor in the back, which is actually our 1st floor. But all of our 6th grade is mostly on the main entrance floor. When you enter the building, the classes are right there. And then obviously the related arts classes are a little bit scattered through the building, but again, those are all subject area close to one another.
Yeah, there's really a sixth grade wing. So I'm very careful. I'm out there all the time. You know, there's no reason for my eighth graders to even walk down the sixth grade hallways. There are 2 sixth grade science rooms because there are labs that are on the first floor, and there's 1 sixth grade science on the 3rd floor.
Ms. Irby, that's all the questions we have at this time.
There's one about the average class size. It's going up because of the number of students, incoming sixth grade students. Right now, it's been anywhere between 20 to 23, 24 maybe at the most. That's been our average class size. But again, we don't know what September is going to look like. So I don't see any other questions. I just want to tell you that I wish we were here in the auditorium. I'm not sure if you were able to get the vibe, to get the feeling from us, but I'm super excited about what I do. And the work I do is all about children. In every interview that I conduct for any new teacher, any new position, the very last question that I ask them, which to me is the most important, is can you love my kids? Can you love them at times when they don't want to be loved? Can you always look at a child and see the best in them? And that's what I need for my children, because that's what I'd want for my own children. And if they can't do that, they may not be a good fit for South Orange Middle School. We give 150%. And I just want students to try. I want students to be able to stand up tall. I want them to find themselves. I want them to be comfortable in the skin they're in. I want them to be able to stand up and put their shoulders back with their head up and say, I go to South Orange Middle School. And there should be a sense of pride that comes over that. I love the kids. I'm blessed because my purpose and my passion were able to come together. And again, I say to all the staff here, the work we do is about kids. There is no hierarchy here. The head custodian, Mr. Little, is treated with as much respect as the administrators. And we do the same. We had a pipe burst in the cafeteria, and we were down there. I was on the ride-on machine trying to get the water up. So there's nothing that we won't do. And there's nothing that we won't do to help kids. Throughout this pandemic, there have been some kids who just needed to see a face. And one of us, if it was an administrator, it was a teacher who just did a drive-by just to say hi, because they just needed that. And that's what we do. There are times when Ms. Steiner, Ms. Prawl, I have lunchtime groups, because sometimes you just want a smaller setting for lunch. You want to sit, and we'll sit and read a book. I always say we're going to talk about books because I was a former English teacher, so I love to read and I love to write. We'll get a journal out in a heartbeat. One thing I've asked my students now, and as fifth graders, they can certainly do this, get a journal, get a notebook. They should be writing what's going on, how they're feelings. If you think about it, this is a pandemic, and their writings will become primary source documents in 10, 15, 20 years from now. Just as we have journals and writings, you know, from people who went through the Holocaust or slave narratives, this is important. So have them write down their feelings, have them get excited about school. I know it's hard right now. I would love to plan, once we get the go ahead, even over the summer, I would love to do some Zoom meetings with, 50, 60 kids at a time, and we'll begin mixing and we'll begin getting to know each other then, and just doing some activities. Ms. Steiner even had a great idea. It was for adults, but I don't see why we can't do it for kids. Is we'll get some spray paint that you can put on grass that's safe, environmentally safe, draw some circles on Floods Hill. I'll get permission from the town, I promise. And we sit 6 feet apart, and maybe we just bring our lunch and have a picnic in the park. That's who I am. That's what I'd like to do. Parents, we are here. We want to listen. I hear your concerns. Besides being a principal, my first role is a parent. So I get it. And parents want to be heard, because your child is the most important thing. And all I can say is, I thank you for trusting us, for beginning to trust us with your children. That means everything to us. I'll get the FAQ out. If I haven't answered any questions, we'll go through the transcript and we'll make sure that we get you what you need. Please know, email me. I may not get right back to you right then and there because running a school virtually is a little bit hard, but we're going to do it. And we'll be in touch. So please stay safe. Please tell your children I don't know them, but I love them already. And we thank you. We thank you. We thank you. We thank you. And welcome to the SOMS family. You'll hear my voice on e-blast saying good. And my kids, they'll hear me on the loudspeaker. Good morning, South Orange Middle School family. So today is Tuesday. So tomorrow, children, let's make it a wonderful Wednesday. Let's make it a great day on purpose. Thank you so much. Good night.